Focus less on the goal and focus more on the strategy, because your attachment to the goal means that you're skipping the little things every day that really matters, and that's where the problem lies. When we become so goal orientated, so goal focused, can't get my teeth in today, what tends to happen is that we see how far we've got to go, and it gives us permission to skip the little things that are going to make that biggest difference that we should be doing every single day. I'm currently reading the book The Slight Edge for the second time. Now, I read this book way back at the start of my entrepreneurial journey, probably about 2012, 2013, and I remember thinking that it was such a game changer. I had never had this perception before. And actually what's really interesting is I go back and read it again so many years later, the first thing that I found really weird was that I didn't turn a page, I didn't underline anything, whereas now if you look at me going through it the second time, I'm probably turning over every other page and there's pictures and squiggles all over it. It's a game changer of a book, and I want to share with you a few of the concepts in there that are going to help you understand why your goal-orientated focus could be sabotaging the success that you say you want. So what the Slight Edge discusses is that it's the small, seemingly inconsequential daily actions that lead to success. Jeff Olson, the author, talked about this graph, and there's 3 lines on the graph. The bottom line being failure, then we come up to survival, then we come up to success. And most people consistently sort of oscillate between failure and survival. And when he started looking into it and had a look at what his own life was like, he was trying to determine what's the difference between when we're going between failure and survival to success. And what he realised was, as people get to the level of survival, the very same things that they did to get them there will take them to success, but they actually stop doing them. They reach this status quo, they stop doing these little things, and then it comes back down. Let's just take a relationship, for example. If any of you have been in a relationship for a really long time, you know it takes effort, it takes commitment to still value each other, to grow with each other rather than growing apart, to instigate, date nights and effective communication and being able to see things from each other's point of view rather than one being wrong and one being right. And quite oftentimes what will happen is people will come to a stage in their relationship where things don't feel great, and they'll make an effort for a couple of weeks or a couple of months, and things really start to improve, and then they stop doing those things and it comes back to the way the relationship was. It's not that the relationship's fundamentally broken, it's that each person isn't doing the fundamental work to make it work. Does that make sense? So it's exactly the same with your business, with your income, with your health. Exactly the same principles apply. So I've written some stuff down for you that I want to share with you right now. So in the book again, and I'm very fascinated by this, is why are most people in the world not living and creating the life that they want? Why is it that only 95% of the world's population will create their level 10 life, will go for their dreams, will push the boundaries of what they think is possible to achieve the life of purpose, passion and profit that they really want? Well, it's easy to say these things, isn't it? It's easy to say, I want more money, I want more success, I want better health, I want a better relationship, I want a different job or a different career. We can all say it, but lip service is really cheap. So how do we make sure that we are doing those actions? Well, Jeff Olson's book, The Slight Edge, really feeds into what I coach around high performance habits. It's those things that successful people know and do daily that most of the rest of the population won't. So how can we become in that 5% of people that create? We just have to learn how to do these little things. And so sometimes to give context to that, it's the best way to look at it is, well, why wouldn't you do those things? Why wouldn't you show up and do those things if you knew that the outcome was going to feel so good for you? So here's 3 reasons why people are not creating the life that they want. So the first one, and Jeff puts this in his book, is that it's easy to do the things because they're easy things to do, but it's also just as easy not to do the things. So it's easy to sit down and do your finances for 20 minutes every day so you can do your projections and your income and your expenditure. It's easy not to do that every week. It's easy to tell your partner every morning and every night how much you love them. It's also easy not to do that. It's easy to do a 20-minute workout at home. It's also easy to not to do that and watch a television, you see. So one of the main reasons is because these things they seem so little, it's easy to do them. It's just as easy not to do them, okay? The second part is that the results are invincible. The results are invisible. And it doesn't lead to success at first. So what that means is that you keep going, you keep going, you keep going. But your feedback mechanisms, what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what you're seeing on your laptop, you're like, I'm putting all this working and nothing seems to be happening, right? And so it feels like nothing's actually happening and it takes too long. And we're in a microwave culture. We want stuff like that. Right? And interestingly, in the book, Jeff Olson talks about how we've moved so far away from hundreds and hundreds of years ago when we were in a world where we were very agricultural. So we knew that we had to sow, we knew we had to cultivate, and we knew we had to harvest. The world that we're in now doesn't allow for the cultivation period. So when we don't see the sprouts coming up immediately, we assume it doesn't work. And by the time you get to see results and people are going, oh my God, you look amazing, or how did that overnight business just happen? You might have been like plugging away at that for 5, 6, 7, 8 years, maybe longer. Because I truly believe as a business owner, you're bringing in your entire life experience. And the more that you honour that, the quicker your business will grow. So the second one is that the results are invisible. And the third one, similarly, is that it all feels very significant, that the thing that you're doing feels insignificant, all right? And until you add time. So what does that mean? So because these things are so small, it's like it doesn't really count. This one meal doesn't count. This one workout doesn't count. This one sales call doesn't count. This one pitch doesn't count. Because we see everything in solidarity rather than seeing it as the group effect. Now, what I love about that is that Jeff Olson talks about when you add time. And I talked a lot about this when I was a personal trainer. It's not that burger that you eat today. The burger's not going to give you an instant heart attack or make you put on 20 stone. If it did, we wouldn't have an obesity problem today. But here's the thing. People choose to dissociate themselves from the actions that they take today, not wanting to, they know it, but they don't want to anchor into the fact that is creating the picture of your reality tomorrow. So I liken it to the domino effect. So when you put one domino down, it's just a domino. You know when they make the pictures out of them? And the second domino, and a third domino, and a fourth domino. You might take 100 dominoes to even get one tiny bit of the picture. And each decision that you make in your life is creating the domino effect and the picture. So when you flick that first domino, the picture that comes about will be related to the amount of intention and attention you've given to putting your dominoes down in your decisions throughout your life. So no, that one burger doesn't make a difference. That one cigarette doesn't make a difference. That one, missing that one I love you. Missing that one time when you just, before you spoke, you thought about what you was going to say. But most people don't have that level of awareness. All right, so this one here, it feels insignificant until you have time. You have to be the person that wants your dreams, your life creation so badly that you're prepared to elongate your timeline so that you can keep doing the daily, consistent work. So I want to give you an example that Jeff uses in the book, and there's a fable about the two frogs. So the two frogs fall into a big vat of milk. Right, and it's the first time that they've kind of been in this situation, and so they drink some of the milk and they're enjoying it, and then they're full up and they want to get out, but they've realised that they can't get out because it's too tall. Right, they can't get over the lip of the jug that they're in, and so they start to swim, and so they don't know what else to do, so they just start pedaling away, pedaling away, pedaling away, pedaling away, and one of the frogs says to the other frog, "This is pointless. We're never going to get out of here." And the other frog says, "No, don't give up." But it's too late. And the other frog just gently lets himself disappear, like the Titanic. Come back. Anyway, so the second frog, or the first frog, just keeps swimming, just keeps moving his legs, moving his legs, moving his legs, moving his legs. And just when he thinks that he can't take any more, and he just wants to rest because he's exhausted, and he just contemplates putting his feet down and just letting go like the other frog, he feels something solid on the bottom of his feet. And what he's done is, with all that time that he didn't give up, all those same repetitive movements, he's churned the milk into butter, and he can get his feet on the butter and he can jump out of the top. And I truly believe in the power of the cumulative effect when it comes to business owners, right? We don't want to know about that. We don't want to believe it's going to take time, but it does take time. And it is the little things. It's the consistency of your social media. It's the consistency of authenticity in your communication. It's the consistency of really nailing your message and talking to the people that you want to talk to, and honouring your values and honouring your finances and how much money you want to make doing what you love. All of those things consistently lead up to you being a successful business owner, absolutely guaranteed. The only reason people don't succeed is because they don't believe in themselves enough, and they won't go through those challenges to become the person that they need to be. They keep trying to buy a strategy. Your strategy is to develop the resilience and the courage and the actions to do these things every day, even when it seems like it's insignificant, even when you don't see, immediate results, and even when you just don't understand, like, how is it even, like, it's too easy to do this. It's too easy just to do my social media. It's too easy just to network. It's too easy. But it's even easier not to do them. So I just want you to remember those things. It's super, super important. So I want to give you just a little action step for you to go away with today. I would love for you to get yourself like a piece of paper, like an A4 piece of paper, and do yourself like a little spreadsheet, or draw it on Monday through Sunday into time blocks. And I want you to keep a really, really honest diary. So everything from the time you spend on social media to time you spend cooking, time you spend in your work, and when you're doing your work, like what specifically you're working on, when you're reading, when you're working out, like as detailed as you can for 7 days on an average week. Don't change anything up. Write all that stuff down, and then you're going to do an honest appraisal of how you're showing up in your own life. And I want you to imagine that if you was to give that piece of paper to me, would I look through that and go, oh, I know exactly what she's working on. I know what she values. I know where her focus is, and I could hazard a guess at what kind of outcome that you're looking for, or what particularly you're working for in your business and your life. And if you look at that and you realise that it's all very sporadic, and you know in your heart of hearts that that's generally how you function, the quickest way for you to start moving faster is for you to start scheduling like a ninja, and schedule according to your primary areas of focus. You can find that video next to this one. So I published that just a couple of days ago, so make sure you go find that one out. And if you want some help with that, in the comments below, there is a link for you to download my planner. There's some free videos on that are going to help you start to increase your productivity and your clarity. And I can honestly say, hand on heart, it's the best thing that you give yourself to make more progress in your business, with your income, and really start to create that life that you crave, and develop your life of purpose, passion and profits. Remember, go grab your planner, subscribe to the channel below, and if you found this helpful, please do share with your friends.